अरे आवाज मत ही करू रे, आवाज मत ही करू.
I'll mute Om Prakash ji 1 second. Yeah. All right. Hari Om. Let us begin with the invocation. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhe Bhavatu Me Sada Vasudevam Sudam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Hari Om. So we are now ready to enter into what is the 14th Shloka, the 18th Adhyaya. Before we begin, can someone recollect what is it that we have seen? This is by many considered to be the most important part of the Gita. Fate and free will. This is a question which plagues almost everybody. Sometime or the other, the question comes, how much is in my hand? How much is in the divine's hand? Is there a freedom? So before we go to this question, I request participants if you can just share anything that you recollect that we saw in the last session. So we can go ahead. Yes, please. Anybody, if you can unmute.
If anybody is not there, I can just sum up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Actually, the 18th Adhyaya starts with, Arjuna asks a question that he wants to understand the sannyas and the fundamentals of the tyag.
Ji.
Because some people feel that sannyas is living total thing, like even the actions and duties also.
Yes, sir.
And tyag is something like, giving up the fruits only, but continuing to do karmas.
Ji.
But many people feel that the actions also and karma also has to be left in the sannyas. But Krishna says that the sacrifice, offerings and penance is not to be neglected, actually.
Okay.
Then also Krishna talks about the tyag, and in tyag also he tells there are three types, like having three gunas, basically. All if the
one small thing, sorry to interrupt, Prakash ji. So as Krishna says, yajna, dana, tapa, all three must be done is what Krishna says, isn't it? The real meaning of sanya. But while doing that, we must have full shraddha and no expectation of fruits.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
And the tyag is of three types, the three gunas, so to say.
Yes, sir.
The all action, state of detachment, if they are done, neglecting the, actually the, first he talks about the tamasic tyag, that neglecting right action is the tamasic tyag. And something work we do by, by fear or by bhaya is rajasi.
Apprehension, some discomfort,
yeah.
Personal, physical, mental, whatever discomfort, emotional also. It's a rajasic tyag.
And regulated with the right action and with detachment is the sattvic.
Sattvic tyag. Okay.
And also he talks about the karma phala. They are also of three types. That is something which is desired, something which is not desired under the
Ishtam, Anishtam and Mishram.
And mixed one. So this is somewhere we talked in the last
all right. Yes, sir. All right, Om Prakash ji. Yes.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you, Om Prakash ji. I think that was a nice summary. So anything else anybody feels like adding, but we have not yet covered? Ishtam, Anishtam and Mishram. And Krishna said somebody who has learned to do all actions, yet not get trapped with the fruits of action, he is the one who has understood. Yastu sarva karma, yastu karma phalatyagi, satyagitya vidhiyate. You can call such a person a tyagi who has understood to let go of the fruits of actions. And then, after talking about fruits of actions, Krishna says, so all actions lead to consequences. Every karma. Inaction also is a action only. Somebody is attacking you, you remain inactive. What is going to happen? You will bear the brunt of the attack. Direct attack you will have to experience. That will be, you will say, I am believing in non-violence. But you are causing violence and self-harm and self-injury by not defending yourself. So wherever it is, whatever place, every karma has a karma phala. Karma phala are of three types, Krishna says. One is desired, one is undesired, one other is a mixed. Like we say, kabhi khushi, kabhi gham, something like that. In life also, some good thing happens, then something bad happens. Well, what if there was a way to understand? Like I think farmers, what do they try? Agriculturists also. They try to get the best yield, isn't it? For the crops, they want to use the least amount. Now, a lot of people are even cultivating organic crops. So they are trying to create the best atmosphere to ensure that the best yield means no mishram, no anishta, only ishta. How to ensure they take their efforts. Yet, they also understand, at least in my village, very neighboring to the place I am now, the farmers here, they do all their best efforts, and yet they say ultimately it is divine wish. Just now, we were planning to purchase from one farmer sesame seeds because they will be useful for our factory. But last few days before harvest, there was heavy rain. And one part of the field suddenly got a lot of water logging, and that entire area of crop was lost. That person said, I cannot sell you anything. I just have enough for me. So then there are factors governing beyond human factor also. The farmers understand that here Krishna is saying there are 5 factors which define the outcome. If you understand, you will understand that every karma's consequence is governed by these 5 factors. This is something which, kind of intrigues so many people, because every time there's always a thing that is everything working according to my will, or is it working against according to God's will? And God's will is always greater than human will. If that is the case, what is the use? What is the purpose for human effort? Like we even saw yesterday, the question that the Param Pujya Nana Maharaj Taranyakar ji had asked at a in his young age when he got a darshana. He was giving the argya. Actually, he was so fed up of not getting darshana that he decided, I will just offer my life into that river. But anyway, since he does all his duties, he wanted to do the evenings sandhya. He thought, I will complete that and then offer myself. Suddenly, then he gets a bright light, and then he sees that young boy with the feather, and then he goes to touch him. That time Krishna says, Hade Rayu Panditji. And that's the question. Ek baat ekant mein sun lo jagadadhar. Hare mare karma. To Prabhu ka kya upkar? My karma is doing everything. What is the reason? And Krishna laughed as usual. He just smiled, did not answer that question, and disappeared. Maybe there was some reason for that also. But in this adhyaya, this part, this shloka actually clarifies a lot of things. So let us see. We will now enter. I'll just repeat again the 13th shloka and we begin. Krishna says, Panchaitani Mahabahu Karanani Nibodhame Sankhe Kratante Proktani Siddhaye Sarva Karmanam. O Arjuna, learn from me as I shall reveal. The 5 main causes to you I shall unveil, as per the wisdom of the ancient instruction, by which man attains in all his life, in all his works, a perfection. Let us see. Adhishthanam tatha karta karanam cha prutagvidham vividhasya pruthak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. So the 5 factors, we will look at them again. We will look at them twice so it becomes clear. Krishna says the 5 comprise the physical body as the base. Sharira. 13th Adhyaya begins with that only, isn't it? Idam Shariram Kaunteya. Krishna says, remember this Sharira is your sadhan. For what? Sadhana. For life's tapasya, life's journey. Can I say I won't care for my body at all? I will just consume all food that is bad for my body. I will not do any activity which will help my body sustain. What will happen then to my life? It will get ruined. It will get ruined and I will not be able to go further. So physical body, no matter how it is, I think everybody has some 19-20, something like that. Physical body, there is some plus, somewhere minus, some good things. Somebody has back pain, somebody has joint pain, somebody has some other problems, somebody has memory trouble, somebody has extra memory. All these are different. Everybody is born with a physical body. Well, that is a base, is what Krishna is saying. Let us see. So, one thing, that is why it is said, Shariram Adhyam Kalu Dharma Sadhanam. This is your first important dharma towards your body. AIMS also has adopted this as the motto, Shariram Adhyam Kalu Dharma Sadhanam, Kalidasa's words. Because your body, you cannot say, I want to do a lot of tapasya and sadhana, and so I will neglect my body. Because Isha Upanishad also says, Kurvan neveha karmani jijivishe chatam samaha. Evam tvai nanyathethosti na karma lipyate nare. The Upanishad tells you have to live the full lifespan. Even the other mantras, Swastina Indro, Vruddhashrava, Swastina Pusha, Vishwavedaha, Swastina Tarkshu, Varishtanemi, Swastino Bruhaspati Tadatu. Tirei Rangai Srishtuvan, with Sthira Anga, strong body, let me live a full lifespan. Importance of body should not be neglected. Many times in the material, people say material world is bad, so they start neglecting even the physical body. Physical body is not something you have earned. It has come to you. It is just you are in debt the moment you receive a physical body. So you cannot, if you borrow your friend's car, can you say, I will damage that car because he's going out of station? He said to borrow my car. Anybody has got that experience? The friend has given a vehicle, two-wheeler or a car for you so that the battery doesn't go down, and ask you to go for a test drive once in a while. Yes. If this case, if you're not also, what would your advice be? It has now come to me, let me do whatever I want and break it. Can we do that? No, isn't it? There's a sense of duty. So like that sense of propriety we must have for our own self, our own physical body. This is important in our world. Sharira, Krishna says. Then next, so number one factor which has been introduced is Sharira. Next, the doer whose command it obeys. Means second, your body is listening to whose command? This is the big question. Is it the command of Ahankar, which is directing the body? Or is it the divine will? This is a very big aspect we must recognize. What is it? My personal preferences are choosing my life direction. My own Ahankar is deciding my actions. My Indriyas are directing me towards something. Or am I aligning to a higher consciousness? My mother had once told me, before I had studied Gita, before I knew anything, now also I won't say I know much, but before I met my teacher, that time she just told a passing line. She had said, when your will and God's will does not match, there is a lot of friction and there is trouble. Now, it was a well-meaning statement, but I got disturbed emotionally because I was applying for MSc Renewable Energy. Netherlands rejected my college degree application. Another college was also rejecting. Everywhere I was not understanding, and suddenly I felt, what is this? My will is to go here, and how can God's will be against my will? And there was something I was not able to understand. What is the meaning of all of this? Well, it is simple. I think in physics we have learned, isn't it? A rectangle, there's a figure of a two-dimensional drawing. Two arrows. One arrow is on one side pulling, they say, force of 100 Newton, another side 20 Newton. Which side will it go? The object will move to the direction of the greater force only, isn't it? So there is a divine will in this world which is probably higher. We must understand, we must recognize it, we must become conscious of it. That also affects our life journey, our karmas also. Sometimes Ahankar is the entire reason we are trapped in Maya and not recognizing divine will. One participant shared her life experience. 17 years she did not quit her job for some reason she didn't understand why. She did not summon the courage. Somewhere she felt, no, it's not right. It's not proper. So many times she wanted to change her sector completely. But something or the other, it was her inner voice, or we can say probably some other will, which was not the divine will, which was directing her. So she continued on that path. Finally, after 17 years, when she took that decision, she says that is the biggest decision she has taken, and that life completely changed after that. So we don't know the will. Who is the body obeying? Is it ankar? Is it sometimes you go on the road, somebody shouts something, you get angry and you react, isn't it? So are you working according to a higher plan, or are you working according to the forces which are just pushing you around? A person, a sadhak, is conscious. So a sadhak is able to move, aggressor is able to move forward. But somebody who is driven by these forces of desire, kama, krodha, mada, moha, matsar, such a person is not in control of the sharira also. So first is sharira, second is the doer whose command it obeys. Then the different kinds of efforts, means the different types of karmas. Karma is in our hand, isn't it? Even if I have only one hand, I can use that one hand. There is one person, one very great motivational speaker, without hands, without legs. He goes and he's not able to, how can we will say, what is this? How is this person's life? He says he's grateful for that life and he's motivating people. This was when I was in college, I would remember. He would say, God has given me a drumstick, chicken drumstick for a leg, because one small piece of flesh is, from he's a double amputee, and no hands also. So, but he says with that, he's able to try swimming also with his body. He's trying. He says, I have a belief in the world. Means his efforts are so much for a little action. He demonstrates practically. He comes onto the stage, falls on his face. And then he struggles to get up because he doesn't have hands and legs. But slowly he uses his neck like a fulcrum to stand up, and he gets up. And then everybody claps for his simple action of standing up, because he's not got hands and legs, but the efforts are in our hands. We can take. There is a beautiful Marathi bhajan also. Zana yatna devatu, zana yatna devatu. Remember, your God is your effort only. For a sadhak, dhyasa eka sadhaka antaratha thevatu. In your mind, keep this. Your God, don't worry which God you're seeing. You're not getting ashirvad, getting darshan, not getting darshan. Remember, right now, your karma and your efforts are only your God, because they have a great power. Here we see the efforts that a soul takes. Even God has to take efforts. They say God's labor only is going on in the world to bring about transformation, but God is using human instruments for it. So this is the second. The third part is, first is the sharira, second whose command it obeys, third are the different kinds of efforts, fourth are the senses, the indriyas. The indriyas, what are they doing? Are they deviating you from your karma? Many times I am doing such and such work, but look at that person is getting happy without doing all these efforts. Why should I do this? What is the reason? Now, this is a very simple aspect. Like that, indriyas sometimes come in the way, deviate us from our karma also, from our efforts also. This, I think, many young children know that in school also, because friends call to play before the exam. They hear the voice of their friends. Should you go away? Leave your duty as a student. As I think many mothers are there. Would you advise your son or daughter? No, your friend is calling. You can go now. Don't worry about the exam tomorrow. No, we know that. We know it for our child. Then we should know for ourselves also when our indriyas are deviating. I remember before board exam, my own friend came to call me. Unfortunately, he called me by my surname. And my father also used to be called by his surname only. And he called out like very loudly 4-5 times. And early in the morning, my father got worried who is calling me so early in the morning. And he got out. So he ensured I never get deviated by the indriyas. My friend also got a sound scolding for disturbing early in the morning. Well, something like that. There are deviations in this life. We will have when we do some work, even a Divya karma also, no matter how great a yogi is. We have heard of so many tapasyas getting bhanga because of apsaras in the Puranas, isn't it? Stories like that. What is the meaning? It is just symbolic. It is symbolic of how even the great tapasya can be destroyed. Meaning, if I think I am so great, I have done so many things. Tomorrow I do one stupid thing, the same people who are saying great will not spare me, because this is the rule of the world. Karma phala. Wrong karma will lead to wrong phala also. It is just like that. What are the efforts you do and what are the senses doing? Are they supporting you or are they taking you away? So that is an important aspect. And finally, it is the individual's governing fate. So fate is the fifth factor. Indriyas and then fate. Now, fate, we cannot say fate is nothing because sometimes people say, no, fate is nothing. I don't believe in fate. I believe in works. Yes, but is everybody born on the same level? Yes or no? In the heart, we are one. In the spirit, we are one. But maybe it's like in our families, we don't have to worry about immediately keeping the food on the table only. But in a very poor family, the entire year, they are going to keep working hard for what? Just to ensure that something comes. They get some meals, 2 meals a day at least. Means their entire life is for a child who is born in a house where there's privilege and a house where there's no privilege. Is there any difference what a child has done in this birth? No. So the level is different. We can say fate is there. Sometimes I think even when you go on the road, that day's traffic is different depending on the moments. Sometimes, has anybody observed today's traffic is very bad? Yes. And today everything is smooth. Arey, wow, what is this green signal? It's like Krishna is giving me full blessing. 3 green signals on the day. What a beautiful day it is. Don't we remark like that? Because when we suddenly we see people we like, we feel very happy. Suddenly when we start the day and I saw this person, now this was a problem. This full day is going to go bad. I saw this person from the society. I didn't want to meet him. No, so there are lots of moments governing us. Fate has a role, but fate does not have the complete role in putting a full stop. But it is something which must be acknowledged. We cannot say, I don't at all believe in this. And this is a governing principle which governs every single person. There's a beautiful story of Narada. And I think Narada is what we can say, chabi maker, who makes all the stories happen. Well, Indra is having little ahankar that I am the Deva, Devadidev, I am the Lord of all the Devas, so Adipati, I am more powerful. Narada comes and says, yes, you are very powerful, but Yama is little more powerful. Now Indra gets annoyed. This is, of course, a story, and I am remembering what I heard when I was a child. So there may be some changes in the characters. If you see later on, you can always point after the session. But the message of it is what I wanted to share. So the Indra is saying, no, I am more powerful. I can decide what I want. That time Narada says, this bird is destined to die now. Can you protect this bird? Indra says, yes, I can protect it. I can ensure. Yama depends on the time. Yama is bound by time. If in that Mrityu Kal I take that bird away from the spot where he is destined to arrive, I can protect it and I have the strength to travel as fast as I can. So I will protect this bird from death, whatever happens. Narada says, Narayana, Narayana. We have to just watch what Narada does afterwards. But he says yes. And immediately Indra takes this bird which is from a tropical climate, he takes this bird elsewhere into another place where there is no likelihood of this bird to be found. And he says, now the time will pass and I will show Narada that I am more superior to Yama. Suddenly, when he reaches there, Narada is almost going to say, yes, you are superior. That time they hear the sound of Yama and his buffalo coming slowly. Yama comes straight to Indra, does pranam to Indra and says, thank you. You must be the one because of which the bird is here, because I was supposed to pick this bird from this place. I had no idea how this bird will ever appear here. Then Indra also does a prati pranam, because he says, no, this is some great game of Prakriti which the divine has created. I am also playing my role, but I cannot say I am greater than everybody. I am greater than that. Ahankar is not required even for Indra. If Indra is not supposed to have ahankar, can we all say I want to have ahankar because I have done great deeds? Can we say that? No, ahankar will trap us. There's a beautiful story of one person, how efforts really changed the fate also. Means somebody who was probably fate was so bad that somebody could have easily written off that person as this person is destined for a ordinary life of obscurity. But with efforts, this person became a legend. Has anybody heard of Dashrath Manji? Yes? Anyone? There was a movie also in his name, I think commemorative, probably a stamp as well. Has anybody heard of him?
He made a road through one mountain
Yes,
because
yes,
he is
Mountain
very wise.
Man. That's what name. Actually, posthumously, his movie was what we can say made in his after his death also. And well, his story is very interesting if you look at it. Born in a village, not just ordinary village, a village where even politicians did not go to canvass for votes, meaning it was a completely left out village, disconnected from the entire country. No facilities in that village. Nearest hospital was across a mountain. The person had to take an entire convoluted route to go to that particular hospital. Okay. Born in this village itself, we can say, okay, chalo, bad fate. Maybe this person doesn't have facilities. Not just that. He is born as a laborer. Means his job is a laborer's job. He's not got much, what we can say, job opportunities. So what does a laborer do? Labor only, isn't it? And it's everyday life. It's just a everyday existence for a person like that, because continuously they cannot dream much. They cannot dream high. Of course, anybody can dream. Nobody can say, I cannot dream. I heard one good friend of mine saying, I don't have freedom to dream also. That's false. But generally, we can say by fate, if you look at it, a person who is, trapped in this cycle of karma, he will have only that. Well, all right. There was one good thing in his life for him. That was his wife. He liked his wife. He loved his wife. That was the singular source of joy for him. Now that's a good thing. That's we can say, chalo, theek hai. These places he didn't have. This was a good thing. But it was not something he could have forever. Suddenly, his wife is sick. She falls and is injured and she has to be taken to the hospital. Now this is very horrible because there's no hospital there. Nearest hospital is across the mountain. He starts to take her with all the aspiration. Chalo, I will make her all right, no matter what happens. I will make her well. I will take her to the best hospital. I'll arrange for funds. Whatever happens, let it be. He starts on his journey. Wife passes away because the route is too long, too treacherous, too difficult. What will you say to such a person now? Fate is bad, isn't it? Fate is horrible. Fate has taken away the only one thing, and this will not come back again to him in life. Now, what can he do? We have heard of other movies, isn't it? Like Devdas, people drink and Zindagi ne, Zindagi par gham diye. People can go on singing great ghazals. How this is like this, life is like this. And few people may join and say, wow, wow, but beyond that, there's nothing there. Well, he could have resigned. Most of the laborers in our factory, near our factory, construction field, we see many go to drinking because I tried to tell some persons not to drink. I was advised by the person who was a contractor. He said, don't come and advise them. If they drink, then only they can do their work. Otherwise, they will not. Their hands shake otherwise for work. I was like, chalo sir, no, sorry, I will not intervene. But I was feeling so bad to hear this. So a laborer will easily, now we can say, if you say that, if you assume that a laborer's post is a low post or he is not having opportunity, he's not got chance in life. No, what has happened is this person has got angry. But if you just look at 5 factors, we can say fate is very bad, isn't it? Sharira is one factor, but last factor is fate. Already fate is now horrible. Fate is decided. Wife is taken away. Now there is no meaning, purpose, direction. Everything is over. But he decides, let this trouble, may it never occur to another person. May there be no other manji like this. May he never weep his own beloved because there is no hospital. May this situation never happen to somebody else. What can we say? He has at least not allowed Rajas, not allowed Tamas to enter inside. Somewhere a good Sattvic thought has taken control of him in his worst moment. Okay. Now look at the efforts that he takes. He starts going at the mountain. He's angry. He's angry. We have seen about, we are human, we will have emotions. It's all right. But how we channel the emotions is important. Use it for a constructive sattvic word. We can even become gunatit. That is what Krishna told in the Gunas chapter. Well, here this person decides to channel his rage towards that mountain. Is you were responsible because you were blocking the road. I could not take my beloved wife to the hospital. So he starts making, breaking the mountain. Breaking the mountain with what? With ordinary hand tools. We are in the today's era of engineering where we have greatest of drilling machines, greater large size ones which can quickly make bores and everything. In that same era, one person picks up hand tools and tries to break a mountain. Well, he starts doing it. What happens during that time? People come. People call him senseless. People call him fool. People call him mad. So many things. But he doesn't get deviated from it. He continues doing his work for several years. It's not months. He does it for years. If you just study his story, life story, it's beautiful. It's inspiring. One man broke a mountain. And what he does is he makes a road through that mountain. Now that road is named after him. After he is gone, also the distance between his village and other hospital has reduced so much benefit. So many people got benefited by him. But if you look at his life, continuously, is it difficult or is it easy to do one work when nobody is acknowledging what you are doing? Can you do a work like that? Is it easy? Isn't it? Isn't it a yogi's work? It's a God's action only. No, we can call it divine, isn't it? Why do we need to see a particular deva? We can see, if we see this person in our life, we can say this is the dev for us, isn't it? Look at it. Divya karma, we'll call it. Man breaking mountain. How great is this? The very physical action only is crazy. How, if you just imagine how many years he must have done, how his hands would have hurt, no one to even support him every day. At the end of the day, he would remember his wife, he will have to bereave the loss of the wife and yet sustain on his karma. So what happened is that person became a legend. Somebody born in a village who didn't have the probably higher education, didn't get the opportunity, whatever, so many factors. Yet with Yatna, if you look at all 5 factors, fate was bad. Sharira was a good Sharira, isn't it? As a laborer, he took care of his body. So physical body, that's good. Then doer, he did not direct his anger into Rajas. He allowed the Sattva Guna to prevail and work for Loka Sangraha, meaning the doer is also, we can say, following a divine will. A good will is good. A higher, greater will is working through that individual. No individual ego. Then different kinds of efforts. The yatna that he is putting, they were suprahuman, absolutely. No doubt about that. So this is one. Indriyas were in his control. And what happened? He wrote his destiny. Can we not say that? Fate was bad, but that hero wrote his destiny. Can we conclude this way? Yes or no? Though the fate was bad, the destiny was written, was rewritten. It was written in golden ink, we can say. Etched. Now he is long gone. I am so far away from his village. I don't remember the name of his village right now. Though every class I do take, every batch I give the example, I keep forgetting his village. But his name I'll never forget, and his efforts will always inspire me also. Because that is the karma, that is the divya karma. This is what it can happen in life. So we have to understand 5 factors. Fate and free will, tug of war takes place. Yes. But destiny and fate, who is going to get the chance to rewrite destiny is that person. That person who has surrendered to the divine, who has become the instrument of the divine is working through that individual, and that person is not getting deviated by various other distractions. So this is the, what we can say, the 5 factors Krishna has talked about. We'll go to the next shloka, after which if anybody has any queries, you are most welcome. Shariravaং manobhihi yak karma prarabhate naraha nyayam va viparitam va panchayate tasya hetavaha. These 5 elements that Krishna has described, these 5 elements constitute and interact to create the governing cause by which all beings act. It's a combination of forces working at continuously, all these five. They chisel and mold man's development and outcome and define what his deeds of mind, body, and speech become. Means your karmas of mana, karmas of sharira, karmas of vani also. Means by speech also there are karmas. What you speak, that has a bearing. So Krishna is saying these five factors define ultimately what is the outcome, not just one factor. They chisel and mold a man's development. If you can just understand this, then you may understand that yes, the times I tumbled, the times I fell, the times I felt weak, the times I felt helpless, all of them had a role. All of them had a role in developing. If you recognize this, you can move ahead. If you don't recognize this, you will be trapped in rajas or tamas only and not able to focus on the karma. We all have to do our karma. That's all that is there with us. That is all that is there in the human hand. But there is a divine will backing us. If we understand that, it's so easy. It's like when somebody is sailing in the ocean. I think in the olden days there were sails, isn't it? Not like today's mechanized boats. So how did the boats move? The sails would be adjusted according to the direction of the wind. So once the sail is at, the captain who was steering the vessel would know, I want to go in this direction. But now wind is coming in the opposite direction. All he would do is he would adjust the sail a bit so that the wind would help him. Something like that. Recognize the divine and allow. Because all these moments, as Sri Aurobindo says, pain is but the hammer of God. Just imagine if the stone has feeling. If some best Shilpakar also tries to make a murti out of the stone, can someone describe what do you think the stone will experience? The best Shilpakar, the best sculptor is working on a stone. He decides, this stone I am going to make this into a beautiful murti which will become a vigraha in that temple. He has identified the Shila. But what is he going to do? He's going to take the hammer and the chisel, isn't it? So if the stone has emotions, can someone tell me what do you think the stone would say to that sculptor? Anybody?
You're
Yes,
hurting
Chitraji.
me or something.
You're hurting me, isn't it? You'll say that. You'll say that only. It's like, what is this? Why all of this pain? Each time a portion of me has lost. I have broken a little bit. Some portion of me has gone. I will never remain the same. Everything is now pointless. I think all questions that come inside of our minds, we should just recognize that chalo dukh ho raha hai, sahi baat, all right. That is, nobody is denying that we are feeling bad. But understand who is giving it to us, for what purpose. As Sushma Swaraj ji, late Sushma Swaraj ji beautifully said, when something happens according to my will, means my wish was there, God granted that wish. Brilliant. It might be anything. It might be a small occasion. It might be meeting someone. It might be hearing something. Whatever, little prayer also you can celebrate. You can celebrate with joy. Wow, what is this? But then what if something doesn't go? That time also having the balance, having the samatha to say, yes, Krishna Ichha. This is the Ishta of my Bhagwan, and I will accept that. So this is the great factor we should understand. We have to understand ultimately, I think the Gita is the 18th Adhyaya talking about surrendering to the divine will. If you do not surrender to the divine will, you will be back to Arjuna in first Adhyaya, explaining to Krishna, who is already the Vishwarupa himself, saying, Krishna, were you greedy? Krishna, did you want wealth? Krishna, don't you know what is going to happen to future generations? Krishna, don't you know what's going to happen after death? Who is asking this? Arjuna. Who is he asking to? To Yogeshwara, who is already knowing everything. Why? Ahankar. Ahankar is the problem. Ahankar eva bijaha. Ahankar is the root for all the sorrow and suffering. Take it out, recognize the divine will, work, and it's a combination. So it's all right. We will fall. How many of us have learned to cycle without falling down? To ride a cycle? Anybody? Is there anyone who has learned to ride a bicycle without falling? No, isn't it?
No one.
No one. Probably my father used to take me every time for the bicycle. One day he went to the hospital for work. I remember that he has not taken me today. I should go. So I went out with a lot of force. I was very young. I straight went down slope and hit the pole. Then I got more scared. I would over the damage of the cycle, so I quickly brought myself back. But that was a very important experience. Getting hurt also, falling down also. Like that in life, we must learn to understand. We must go to a point where we can say, let not one bad day of my life also be removed. Because even if one bad day is removed, I will cease to be what I am today. But for that, we have to understand and go beyond emotions. Otherwise, our emotions will keep, sometimes people say, I was in coma for this much period. Don't talk about those days. I don't believe those things. No, we have to face even the worst, even the worst. They are an experience. It's like a bitter pill has to be swallowed, isn't it? Then only we will get cured. Something like that. Coming to terms and moving on, no matter what, whatever fate it is. People can change. People can change things. Why is it said, Prabhu ko niyam badalte dekha? Or they say, खुद को कर इतना बुलंद इतना कि खुदा आके पूछेगा, right? God will come and ask you, tell me, what do you want? That is the difference, isn't it? That is the difference between a yogi and a bhogi. Bhogi is going to sit and keep praying. He's going to try to lust after things and enjoy what he's getting and still feel helpless and weak and ask for, give me this, give me that, give me this. Yogi is going to be, they say, Ramta Jogi, Behta Pani. Nobody will stop. They say, Bhagwan, you see me later. I am doing my karma. You have given me the sanction. This, I will not care. Even if you are giving me darshan, I'll say, चलो कर्म के बाद आपका दर्शन लूंगा. अच्छा हुआ आप आए. थोड़ा वेट कीजिए. कर्म करके आऊंगा मिलने के लिए. That is the state. That is the state we must understand. So this actually is a very important aspect which shows that we are not completely only dependent. It's not, everything is not predetermined completely. There is a scope for divine will. Nobody can perfectly predict everything. Astrology is a science. Yes. Nobody is denying it. It is a shastra. It is a shastra which can even tell you which colored drink you took on a particular day, looking at the graha, dasha, mahadasha, antardasha, dasho, antardasha. Inside of antardasha also people go and try to identify and say this might have happened. Best astrologers can do it, but they cannot predict with full accuracy. They can probably talk about certain possibilities. Outcome cannot be predicted. My one sister last year, she got diagnosed with cancer. Doctor said 4 months. Today she got the report. I got it on WhatsApp. After 1 year, doctor says the person is completely cured. Stage 3 last year. Stage 3 last year, life was completely destroyed. Everything, there was no hope. But she decided, no, I will not give up. I will not reduce my efforts. Let me try. Somebody who had not focused on yoga also started yogasana. She started pranayam. She started doing everything that is right, whatever she could for herself, because she says, I have dreams. And now she's going to give an interview for Oxford also. She got an interview for that. But just last year, the entire world had come crashing down with the best doctor of, CMC Vellore telling her that, no, there is no life remaining for you, not much life. From what I understand, from my years of experience, the best oncologist telling directly to a 26-year-old child. So there are factors which are beyond. We must understand it. We must understand there are things beyond our understanding. That is why it is very easy. It is just Sharana of the divine. Taking the Sharana, focusing on all the other factors. But not everybody understands this. They say, no, my Ahankar is greater than divine. Why should I listen to anything? Why should I even think of? Many times it is there. It is actually sometimes you want to give good wishes to somebody also, you must have noticed. The person who should receive the good wishes, isn't it? If you have friends, you want to wish something for your friend. Say you want to wish for your friend, you want to wish that friend a birthday song you are singing for your friend, a best song with a full heart. You send it to your friend, but the friend does not listen to it. Then what's going to happen? You have sent it, your karma is done, but the recipient should also receive it. Like that in our life also, there are moments, sometimes God comes, we say Atithi Devo Bhava, sometimes Bhagwan comes as Atithi. Bhagwan comes at our dwara and we say, Jao, mujhe nahi milna hai, abhi time nahi hai. And the divine moment goes away. That is the problem with Ahankar. Ahankar does not allow us to recognize divinity. This is what Krishna is saying. Shloka number 16. He says, Tatraiva sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tu yaha pashyatya krita buddhitvan sapashyati durmatihi. But those beings who do not comprehend, due to ignorance, nothing they can apprehend, themselves to be the cause of actions they believe, the truth such blinded beings cannot perceive. I am the Alpha, I am the Omega, everything happens because of me. How long will this work? As long as I have Bala inside of me, isn't it? Tomorrow my Bala will disappear, what will happen then? If I'm running an organization and I'm the post of president of that organization, everybody will do salam and listen to me. Security will say yes, yes. The day I cease to become president, security may not open the door for me also. They will say new president has given order that old president should not come inside. What is going to happen? I gave all my value to the ID that I had received. Today the ID card has changed. I am ex-employee. From president to ex-employee. What happens then? It's over. Then people get into big probably withdrawal. They have says withdrawal symptoms like that. People lose power. They feel very disturbed. Damliji was told by his friend who was a very senior commissioner in the police. After he retired, Damliji continued. As when he was commissioner also, he talked the same way. After retirement also, one day he met on the road and he just smiled and said, hi. He came and he got emotional to him and he said, see, you are the only one who is still wishing me like this. Now nobody gives me even the slightest respect. Nobody cares about me at all. That time everybody used to do salute. And he said, that time also I didn't give you salute because you are a commissioner. Now also I'm not giving you because you are that, because I know on a personal level I have that spirit connect with you. That is why I am giving it. I'm wishing you. Now this is something we must understand, that we are not the actions. We are not everything. We cannot say we are in, like right now. We are dependent on so many people, isn't it? Where we are today, we are because of, see, we can say we have a runa to so many people. Matru runa, Pitru runa, Guru runa, runa towards the Rashtra runa also, there is a runa. There are so many runas, we cannot count how many are there. So we are already in a state of depth. We cannot suddenly say we are absolutely in charge of everything. Let us continue. The person who is blinded by ignorance does not realize this. Krishna goes on, he says, Yasya naham krito bhavo buddhir yasya na lipyate hatvapi sa iman lokan hanti na nibadhyate. But here Krishna is saying, he who has given up the sense of possession, he whose intelligence is not driven by passion, even if multiple people such a being were to slay, he isn't the slayer, not bound to sin in any way. This is very important for Arjuna, because Arjuna was thinking, I'll do Mitra Droha, Kulakshaya, Guru Hatya. So many such sins he was, making a list of sins he would perform if he did his duty. Krishna says, if you are doing you are a Kshatriya, your job is to protect, your job is to serve your country. What is the matter then? Your job should take precedence. It is not sin if you are not having a sense of possession, if you are not driven by your passion, Rajas is not driving you. You are in a state of sattva and you are performing your duty. This is the highest, because soldiers also have to somehow go into that state only, otherwise they will be in trouble. Their hands will become trigger friendly. There are cases of soldiers killing civilians without reason, just like that. What is the reason? Passion has taken control in overexcitement. Now in America, so many body cams footages are released where police are shooting people while they go for a routine inspection of their license. Why? Because their fingers are driven by passion. They are already having a thought in their head, which this person is going to attack me. Means the balance is not there. Krishna is saying, when you're balanced, when you're having the samabhava, even if you were going to do hatya also, you would be doing it because of a sense of duty, not driven by personal egos and desires. So such a person who is performing a duty, do we say murder for a soldier who has killed and gunned down terrorists? Do we call it murder? In the society, we look down on this person? See, this person murdered 5 terrorists. Look at this shameless person. Or we say he has murdered 5 terrorists. This great, he should be given Paramvir Chakra for what he has done. We have such great respect for such a person. What is the reason? Here, one person is doing for duty. The terrorist is not doing a duty. He is driven by passion. He is driven by tamas. And what is he doing? He is killing innocent people. He's going after the innocent people because tamasic buddhi has justified that this is the right action. But that does not make it right. So this is what Krishna is talking about. You go into that state of sthiti, you don't have to worry about all of these punyas. Let that Chitragupta keep that accounts. It's not our job. Accountant will do his accounting work. Of course, with all respect, I'm not trying to call him accountant. I'm just saying we need to not focus on calculating punya. How much punya? Who will calculate punya? How much punya I have? I want to speak nicely to this person, so my punya account will increase. Is that why we should speak nice? Because somewhere somebody is noting, or because that is the right thing to do? Jnaneshwar had beautifully said, Punyachi Ganana Kona Kari. Who will do the calculation of the punyas? Gautam Buddha talked about accumulation of virtue. Keep doing good. Keep doing so much good that your pitcher will get full and then that amrut will flow out of it because it has now, your consciousness has risen. The blossoming of the inner lotus takes place. Keep doing good without counting. That's what Krishna is saying. And same way, we don't have to worry about sin also. If we at all want to think of sin, well, there is only one sin and there is only one punya. Punya is what? Moving ahead on the spiritual path. Sin is doing anything that is preventing you from going ahead on the spiritual path. So simple. You don't have to worry about Shastras also. Is this helping me go ahead or is this stopping me? You understand that? You've understood everything. Krishna goes on, Jnanam Jnayam Parignyata Trividha Karma Chodana Karanam Karma Karteti Trividha Karma Sangraha. The knowledge, the objective senses, and the knower. These three trigger the mental impulses in the doer. Then again, it is the doer, the instrument, and the action. All works arise only by the three's combined action. If you see, Jnanam, Jnayam, Parignyata, the knowledge, the senses, the indriyas which are using, we are using our indriyas, isn't it? I listen, you listen to something, you hear something, you see something, then you process it, you understand it, and then it becomes converted into knowledge ultimately. And then there is the person who has received the knowledge. I think in the Kshetrajna, we called him the Kshetrajna, isn't it? The who has received the highest knowledge in that particular Kshetra, and Supreme Kshetrajna was recognized as divine. So nobody should get ahankar that I am Kshetrajna, because Supreme Kshetrajna is always there, bigger, something like that. These three are what are important. I think in today's world, we have something called Google Baba, available to answer every question, isn't it? We search, before the question comes also, Google only suggests this is the question, are you asking this? And it is already prompting what thoughts we are going to have also. But do we get knowledge directly from searching on? We get knowledge by searching, but can we get it by searching on Google? Or I'm not against Google, so I'll say Bing also, or any other browser you want to say, Yahoo, Google, Bing, whatever, no particular company we are looking at. But can we find it this way? Just searching this way. Can knowledge come? Only by this. We cannot deny any place for source of knowledge. That is true. But just searching, we get so much, isn't it? 1,000 results in 10 seconds. I'm going to read so many pages. Will I get knowledge like that? Yes or no? What will I get from there?
Anybody? You get only information, no knowledge.
Information. Yes, sir. Information. Sometimes there's an information overload. We don't know what to do with the information. We've received so much information. Many times, if you want to take a particular medicine, doctor has given medicine, but you have sunshine in your head. So you go and search in Google whether this medicine is good. Because your doubt is already there, Google is going to show you answers according to your doubts. Then one more person will show counter results also. Because these are information is not equal to knowledge. Information has to be processed. When you process the information, it converts into an understanding. But understanding also is not realization. When that understanding is practically lived, then it becomes realization. So there's a big gap between what we see and what we realize. Jnanam, Yeyam, Parignyata. This is something which Krishna is talking about. All these three. If I have half information, I will start blasting the doctor for giving me this medicine because I have seen Google page number 1, Google page number 2, 3, 4 are showing side effects of this medicine. You have given me a wrong medicine. You don't know anything about your medical degree. I don't respect it at all. Then what's going to happen? It's going to be incomplete knowledge. If that doctor is realized, he will say, this is why you are foolish. This is why you are not a doctor and you are a patient. You want to take my treatment, you better take it. This is the reason why you are talking about this. This means the entire aspect is the full knowledge will be got by somebody else who has got that knowledge. And then realization only comes when a person ultimately transcends. A yogi getting a realization, or somebody, if we are doing, if I think even when we try at home, if we try something new, when you fully understand it and then when you start practicing it after understanding, then only realization comes. Same is with the spiritual concepts also. So better get realized or realize why you are doing things. Krishna says rather than blindly following. इसने ऐसे कहा तो हमने ऐसे किया. But why is it told? What is the reason? Krishna says even your shastras, you must understand why it has been told in the shastras and then follow. So this is what Krishna says. They trigger the mental impulses. They decide a person's thoughts also. So our thoughts are also getting governed by outer situations. This is one more reason to do sadhana. One more reason to recognize that no, I am not so vulnerable that my thoughts are going to be designed by people on the outside. I'm not so vulnerable. I'm something more. I have to understand and rise. So that's one step. Then again, if you see, there is the doer, the instrument, and the action, meaning the karta who is doing. Who is this karta? Is he an instrument of the divine or is he an instrument of ahankar? And then there is the karma, what karma he is doing. So all three, Krishna is saying, ultimately all karma, all works are driven by this combined sanction of forces. So this is actually a pretty practical chapter which Krishna is sharing. One thing, one important takeaway is that let us not resign. Let us not resign. Sometimes grahas are bad. We understand this is not good for me astrologically. But let us not completely forget that there is a grahadipati who is supreme, who is sitting above all the grahas also, who works. And sometimes even astrologers tell you that each graha is like a parent. Sometimes you have strict parents. Sometimes you have lenient parents. I have my friend, his father used to beat him with a belt when he was young. Now he laughs about it. And he said, and actually he was somebody says, my father did a good thing by beating me with the belt. People like me have to be beat with the belt only is what he says. He was very notorious because he had beat his father also when he got hit by his father. And this person was the most mischievous person. He would actually got the house on fire also once. So many such instances he had done. But he understood. He didn't take offense. Today's day and age, it is not accepted. It is not right. It's like we can say we have evolved one more step further where physical beating is not required. That is true. But one thing one must completely understand that all of these things you must in life, we must understand what is the higher purpose, higher meaning. Then we can move ahead. Why are things being done? What are you doing? Why are you doing? If you understand that, then it becomes a lot more easier. Krishna goes on, let us see 19th shloka. Jnanam karma cha karta cha tridhaiva guna bhedataha prochate guna sankhyane yathavat shrunu tanyapi. Gnosis, the works and actions mode, as written in the ancient scriptural code, all persist in nature in ways threefold. Listen to these two as I shall unfold. Krishna says even realization has a stamp of the gunas, even the karmas also, and all the great works that are done by an individual, all of them. Sarva bhuteshu yenaikam bhavam avyaya mikshate avibhaktam vibhakteshu tadjnanam vidhi satvikam. The knowledge coming from the inner eye is opening, that which perceives in all the Supreme Self's becoming. Behind all the divisions, those who perceive the one indivisible in all such beings, Sattva's light is recognizable. So how do you understand Sattvic knowledge inside of a person? Krishna says simple. that which comes from the opening of the inner eye, which perceives in all the Supreme Self's becoming, the becoming of the Supreme Self or the awakening of the Supreme Self, meaning ability to see the divine in all, seeing the oneness behind what we can say the diversity, behind the diversity, seeing the supreme divine unity. That person who is able to see that, you can perceive, Krishna is saying that Sattva's light is working. This is something which is beautiful when somebody realizes this. Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahuda Vadanti. It is said, one Sat, one truth is told in different ways by the wise, meaning there can be different perspectives. Why should there be only one perspective? It's okay. Opposites can also be true from different perspectives. It is important. Sattvic light will allow you to recognize higher perspectives, even opposite perspectives, that will lead you to the greater knowledge. But what does Rajas do? Rajasic insight. Prutatvena tuyajnanam nana bhavan prutakvidhan vetti sarveshu bhuteshu tadjnanam vidhi rajasam. But that knowledge which perceives in all forms a division, that which in the multiplicity of life sees a separation, devoid of oneness, it sees in all creations a distinction. The knowledge of such being is powered by Rajas's passion, where divide is happening. Ayam nijaha paroveti. Ganana laguchetasam, small-mindedness is making division. This person is from my philosophy, this person is not belonging to my philosophy. This person is belonging to my blood. This person is not my blood. This person is from my pantha. This person is not from my pantha. This is from my spiritual following. That person is not from mine. All these divisions only create what we call the Mahabharat. Mamakaha Pandavas Chaiva. Look at Dhritarashtra. He created that divide. That was a Rajasic Buddhi which was creating a divide. This is something which happens if you just go to yourself and see, if you start seeing divide and you say, no, but there is no oneness, then understand it is Rajas speaking. This I can tell best because I got this beautiful experience of Rajasic Buddhi only. That is why after I had got some particular literary record, I was feeling on top of the world. And I was walking on the road. One man gave me one nice hit for no reason. I never understood why I got it. Oh yeah, that was it was in the ATM. The ATM, this person was waiting. I took some more time to withdraw. He started shouting. I looked at him. I said, what is it? I did not say more than that. But my what is it was enough for him to give me one big whack on my neck. I was so frustrated because I got hit. I said, I'll not spare you. But I was not feeling like hitting him because this person had white hair. He was older than me. And this frustration was inside. I was not able to take out frustration. We can say Rajas continuously working inside of me only. Rajas was continuously, and I said, I will not leave this person. I thought I'll walk behind him and I'll tag him along. But I did not find him after he went ahead, little ahead. I was disturbed. I went to the bank where the ATM was. Bank manager says, I cannot do anything. Security guard was even more aloof. He said, that's not my problem. It's your problem. I said, I'll go to the police station. So I went to the police station to complain because I didn't tolerate. Why did somebody hit me like this? The police station also, he says, you didn't get hit here. He says, you got hit in the heart. I can understand your problem. You're feeling more in the heart. I was like, what is this? This person is also becoming philosophical and not taking my complaint. Nobody is listening. But this was an incomplete experience, but it gave me a very strong, see, I have done nothing wrong. Still, I got a bad experience. This world is not nice. There are good people. There are bad people. That man was bad. That was my sakshatkar. Or we can say pseudo sakshatkar, false sakshatkar, rajasic sakshatkar. So that I was carrying. But because of that, so many times I thought I saw that man whom I had not seen. When I told my teacher, I think I saw that person on the bus. He said, you're growing mad. What nonsense you're talking about? And I said, no, Guru has told, means there is something important here. And I said, it's enough. It's enough. I will not allow this to keep creating. Next time I see this person, I will try to forget it. I will just not allow this. So I saw that person on the road. I went. I apologized to him. I said, I should not have spoken to you that way. Though I didn't realize, I wanted to nip at the bud. This is where it started. It started because I spoke something, he hit me. Maybe it was Krishna only telling me ki uchal rahe ho, zamin pe aao. You're thinking because you got a record, you're having ahankar or whatever. He had a plan. The moment I told sorry to that person, I don't know why I felt very peaceful. And then that person looked at me and said, I don't know who you are. He was not that person. But I felt relieved, and that day onwards, I again became calm and peaceful. Meaning the Rajas force inside of me left. Rajas force left that division. Krishna has told Vasudevam Sarvamiti, isn't it? Can I correct Krishna and say, no, Vasudevam na Sarvamiti. Vasudevam atra asti, Vasudevam tatra nasti. Can I correct Gita and say, no, this is like this? That is Rajas. Rajas creates divide. Every time you get divide inside of your head, you divide between people, divide between things. You are taking the divine out of the picture, and your ahankar is causing a division. This we must understand. Rajas force is causing division. Even in knowledge, it creates a division. But what is tamas? Tamas is the worst of all. Sometimes it's very difficult to understand what tamas is, but tamas is a part of our life also. It controls a person, giving them an illusion. Krishna goes on, let us see 22nd shloka. Yattu krutsna ved, yattu kritsna veda, kasmin karye, sakta mahaitukam, atatvartha vadalpam cha, tattamasam udahritam. The pseudo knowledge gives the beings a very narrow view, for their eyes are blind and they see nature to be untrue. Limited in perception, they prefer a routine of sameness, and their knowledge is blighted by tamas's darkness. So Krishna is saying this tamasic view is an illusion which gives a very narrow-minded approach, because the eyes are blind. Not physical blindness, we can talk about it. Blindness meaning ignorance. The truth is in front of you, but you don't see. Even if your eyes are working, what is the meaning? Like, that is the meaning of ignorance only. It's like if I have eyes which can see and I say, no, I don't want to see. What is the use? There was a story of one person who consciously became blind because she had some medical condition. She felt she's happier being blind. So she put some chemical liquids into her eyes so that she permanently becomes blind. Now, what is this? This is tamasic vritti only. Absolutely the same thing. Krishna is saying this pseudo knowledge, it gives a narrow view. The person, they are blind to the truth and they don't see the divine everywhere. They say everything is mithya only. There is no divine here, there's no divine there. Limited in perception. They prefer a routine of sameness. This is very characteristic of tamas. Getting trapped in the same cycle. Sometimes even sadhana becomes mechanical. The bhava disappears. The person sits, does japa, half his eyes are darting at somebody. Look at that person coming into the room, and the mantra starts becoming loud because he does not want that person to walk inside. But where is the dhyana? Is it kendra on the aradhya, or the kendra is everywhere else? Well, because every day this person is doing, that person is lost in that sameness. Even sports coaches, our coach also would give exercises. Badminton coach would say, go play football today. Once he gave volleyball, go play volleyball. And if you don't sweat, punishment 10 rounds. So I kept jumping in one place because I didn't know volleyball. Nobody would. But that punishment, what was the reason? The reason was for one reason only. Because sometimes you get trapped in mechanical sameness. That is what tamas happens. Sometimes if you are getting trapped in routine, understand that there is a discipline. Discipline is one thing. Tamas is another thing. Don't allow tamas to come into your discipline. That is the real sadhana. Let the bhava, let your heart beat with joy. When you chant a mantra, feel the gratitude for a aradhya. Every day you do it. Otherwise, what is the use? Sometimes it is better you do it for 1 minute also, but do it from the heart. This aspect, tamas does not realize. There was one uncle of mine, post-retirement. He had only one routine for nearly 9 months until something shook him out of it. He would read newspaper, go out, come back, not talk anything, not do anything, because he was so used to his previous life that after that life changed, he was not trying to learn anything. He was not trying to do anything, not of any constructive value. Also, his daughter was supposed to get married. He was not wanting to take a step to make his daughter get married also, meaning let them ask when they have to. And he just allowed things to just drag on. What can we say? This is tamas controlling a person. So there are these gunas Rajas, Tamas, Sattva, they cover our wisdom also. Our intellect also gets crowded by that. So we must understand Sattva is important. And one of the best indicator is of Sattva is you're able to see oneness. Even in opposites, you can laugh and smile. Hare Krishna came like this today. Okay, fine. It's a joy. It's an experience. Rajas is going to create a divide everywhere. I am better, that person is no. ये हमारे standard का है, वो low standard का है. ये हमारे caste का है, ये वो lower caste का है. All these thoughts are just rajasic. And tamas is not going to experiment anything, will be trapped in that routine of sameness and darkness and delusion. So with this, we conclude today's session. This adhyaya is quite larger. So I think it will not be completed tomorrow, though we will try to cover important part of the adhyaya. We will take a call tomorrow, depending on the number of shlokas we go ahead. Whether if it is possible, we will have the final session on Saturday, if it is all right. Otherwise, we will have on Monday. You have the group as well. You can give your suggestions. If you would rather have it on Monday, and it depends on the shloka, number of shlokas remaining or how we look at it. So we are now coming to the final part of the Bhagavad Gita workshop. We are coming to the 18th Adhyaya, last part. What is it Krishna is going to share? There is something very interesting that we will see. I conclude now with the Shanti Mantra. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyat dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tatsat. Krishna Mande Jagat Kurum. Hari Om Ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Any
Hari
queries?
Om.
Most welcome.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. I'll be missing these sessions once they are over. Hari Om Ji. Yes.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om Ji. Jai Shri Krishna. If no queries are there, I'll conclude. Yes. Hari Om.